Good morning everyone. So today we will be discussing about the ground sources of water. So in the previous slides I have discussed about the surface sources of water, what are the types of surface sources of water. So we'll give a quick review on that. Okay. So we have already discussed about what are the water sources and the sources from which the water is available for the water supply scheme are known as water sources. There are two types of water sources such as surface sources and groundwater sources. Surface sources, we have streams, ponds, lakes, rivers and important reservoirs. And in ground sources, there are springs, infiltration galleries, infiltration wells. There are all of this. Okay. So today we'll be reading about ground sources. And I have shown you here the images. There are the different water sources from where the water we get. And in the surface sources, they are divided as streams, lakes, ponds, rivers, important reservoirs. As I have told you, in the mountainous regions, the streams are formed by the runoff, and those streams which are dry up in summer and contain water during the rainfall is known as running streams, and the quality of water in the streams is normally good. Okay, and sometimes the runoff while flowing water or while the water is flowing over the ground is mixed with clay, sand and mineral impurities, and all the suspended impurities can be removed in the settling tanks, or we can say the dissolved impurities also it can be removed by some special treatments. Okay, so next I have discussed about lakes. You have seen the images I have shown here about the lakes. In mountains, at some places, the natural basins are formed with impervious beds. Water from the springs and the streams generally flow towards the basins, and the lakes have been formed. From where the lakes have been formed, so we can say that the water from the springs and the streams generally flows towards the basins, and the lakes have been formed. And the quantity of the water in the lakes mainly depends upon the basin capacity, catchment area, runoff and actual rainfall, and the porosity of the ground. Okay. So next I have been discussed about the ponds. All of you know what is ponds. You have been seen in your villages and in your nearby houses. You can see also ponds. These are the depressions in the plains like lakes of the mountains in which the water is collected during rainy season. Sometimes the ponds are formed when much excavation is done for constructing the kacha houses in villages, embankment for the roads, railways and manufacture of the bricks, and the water of the ponds is used for our washing clothes, animal bathing and also drinking purposes. We also the water pond, and the quantity of the water in the ponds is very small. As we know, it is a very small pond, so the quantity of the water is also small, and it contains a large amount of impurities such as suspended, dissolved, colloidal. It contains such types of impurities. Okay, so next I have discussed about the rivers. The rivers are born in the hills when the discharge of large number of springs and the streams combine together. When the streams and the springs combine together, there the rivers have been burnt. In mountains, the quantity of the water in rivers remains small. Therefore, at such places, these are called as small rivers. And last, I have discussed with you about the important reservoirs. As the water has been stored in a reservoir, or it has been stored in a dam, so it can be called as important reservoirs. It is found that there is a great variation in the quantity of the water during the monsoon and summer season. The water can be stored in the river by constructing a weir, dam across the river at such places where the minimum of land is submerged in the water. You can see here the water is immersed or submerged. Okay, where the minimum of land is submerged in the water. You can see here the images of impounded reservoirs. So today we will be discussing about the ground sources. Okay, as I have discussed with you about the surface sources which we get from the springs, streams, lakes, ponds, rivers which we get, and ground sources means which we get from the underground water. We can say tube, pond, we can say that from by tube or by boring we can get the water. Okay, so that is known as groundwater sources. So what is groundwater sources? Groundwater is the water that exists in the pore spaces and fractures in rocks and sediments beneath the earth's surface, and it originates as rainfall or snow and then moves through the soil and rocks into the groundwater system. As when the rainfall or when the snowfall occurs or the originates and they move through the soil or they move through the soil inwards, okay, and they form a layer in they pass through permeable rocks. Permeable rocks means what? They can pass through these rocks. So we can say that it is known as the permeable rocks. They can pass through the permeable rocks and through the sands, or they can pass through any type of rocks. So after passing it from the rocks, they settle in a layer that is known as, we can say it as a aquifer. Okay. So from the groundwater itself only we get water. We can say from the tube well also we get water, or by pumping the hand pumping well we can also get the water. So from the groundwater sources we get the water also. What is known as aquifer? An aquifer is a geological formation that contains water and permits the significant quantity of water to move through it under ordinary field conditions. It is porous, permeable, water-bearing geological body of a rock generally restricted to materials capable of yielding an appreciable amount of water. As I have told you, aquifer means what? I already have been told you about when the rainfall or when the snow occurs. It moves through the soil or the rock into the groundwater and it forms a layer. That layer is, we can say that it is known as aquifer. Okay, and so we can say that an aquifer is a geological formation that contains water and permits the significant quantity of the water to move through it. Okay, it permits the significant quantity of water to move through it under field conditions, and it can be a permissible or permeable water-bearing geological body of a rock which is generally restricted to the materials capable of yielding an appreciable amount of water. For an example, we can also say that gravel, limestone and the sand. Okay. So next is aquiclude. It is a geological formation which is saturated and which may contain large amount of water because of its high porosity, but cannot transmit water as it is relatively impermeable. So it is called as aquiclude. Permeable, I have told you, permeable means the water can pass through these rocks. So it is known as permeable rocks. Impermeable means the water cannot be passing through these rocks. Okay. So a geological formation which is saturated and which may contain large amount of water because of its high porosity. So aquifer, it is of a small, it contains the porosity and it contains a small amount of water. You can see here I have written here, and it permits a significant quantity of the water. But in aquiclude, it contains the large amount of water, and because of its high porosity, it cannot transmit water as it's relatively impermeable. It cannot transmit the water. Okay, so it is called as aquiclude. For example, clay layer, clay lenses, cell, this is known as aquiclude. Okay. Next is aquifers. It is a relatively impermeable formation with no interconnected pores and hence neither containing nor transmitting the water. It has very low porosity and very low permeability. For example, basalt and granite. So it can be said as aquifers means it is a relatively impermeable function with no interconnected pores. It has no interconnected pores and it can neither contain the water or nor can transmit the water. It only passes through the aquiclude or it can passes through the aquifer. Okay, so it has a low porosity and it has low permeability. For example, it can be basalt or granite. Okay, so these are the ground sources where the water will get, that is aquifer, aquiclude and aquifers. Okay, so in the aquifer it contains or it permits the significant quantity of the water, but in aquiclude it contains the large amount of water because it is of high porosity and it cannot transmit the water. But in aquifers neither transmit the water nor contain the water. It only passes through it. It has a very low porosity and the low permeability. Okay. So next we will be discussing about AquaTAD in the next slide. Thank you.